Hey, how's it going, guitar players? I'm Nate Savage, and welcome to this Guitar Foundations lesson. If you've been following along, this lesson is going to be a little bit easier for you because you already have some experience memorizing the names of the notes on the low E string. We're going to use those same kind of exercises and principles to name or to memorize the names of the notes on the A string. So you don't have to put a ton of time with this. Again, maybe 3 to 5 minutes a day for a couple of weeks, and you should have the note names on the A string memorized. I want to kind of go through everything that I hit in the lesson for the E string, but a little bit faster for the A string, just so this can be like a self-contained video. And if you need to go back and check out that lesson on the low E string, it's a good idea. It's going to be a little bit more detailed. The first thing that you need to know is just the names of the letters in the natural musical alphabet, and that's just the first 7 letters of the regular alphabet: A, B, C, D, E, F, and G. It's a really good idea to be able to say those forwards and backwards for a lot of reasons on the guitar, but particularly for some of the exercises we're going to be doing for memorizing the notes on the fretboard here. So A, B, C, D, E, F, G, G, F, E, D, C, B, A. The next thing you need to realize is just the difference between a whole step and a half step. On the guitar, for our purposes right now, a half step is just 1 fret. So if we start on any fret and move just 1 fret up or down, that's a half step. For a whole step, if you start on any fret and then skip a fret, that's a whole step or 2 frets away. And you can do that up or down. So if you start here, skip a fret, that's a whole step down. Next, the idea of a note being sharp or flat. If you have, let's go for a D note here, 5th fret. If you have a D natural note and you raise that a whole step, that's going to be a D sharp. If you start on that same D natural note and lower it by 1/2 step or 1 fret, that's going to be a D flat. The last little bit of information you need is just the B, C, and E, F rule, and that just states that any 2 adjacent natural notes in the natural musical alphabet have a whole step between them except for B and C and E and F. B and C and E and F only have a half step in between them. So just make sure you are aware of that as we work our way up and down the A string. And we're going to use the exact same exercises that we used for the low E string to get into this and memorize these notes on the A. And we're only going to start out with the natural notes just to make things easier for you so it's not as overwhelming. And if it feels like the memorization of these notes is coming slowly, don't worry. Almost everybody is like that. It's going to feel like the learning curve is really bad at first, and then finally it'll pick up and take off, and you'll be like, oh, I know the names of the notes on the A string. Okay, so start off with the open A, and we're just going to go to the next natural note, which is a B on the 2nd fret, and our B, C, E, F rule tells us that any 2 adjacent natural notes, right, A and B, have a whole step between them, except for B and C and E and F. So this works out. This is a whole step, A to B. Okay, now we're on a B, and we need to move to a C. Our B, C, E, F rule says there's only a half step in between them, so we only need 1 fret. So B, 2nd fret, to a C on the 3rd fret. All right, move up from a C on the 3rd fret to a D on the 5th fret. And you could look at the graphic in the book if you need, if that helps you with this, or the on-screen graphic here will be good too. D, whole step up to the 7th fret of an E is an E. Now we're on an E. The B, C, and E, F rule says from E to F is just a half step. So from E, half step up or 1 fret to an F, there on the 8th fret. F to a G on the 10th fret. G to our octave A on the 12th fret. And that's where we're going to stop here. We're going to work our way back down because it just repeats up from there up on the guitar. So A, down to a G, 10th fret. Down to an F on the 8th fret, down to an E on the 7th fret, the 5th fret is a D, C on the 3rd fret, B because of our B, C, E, F rule on the 2nd fret, and then back to an A. And this is how you want to practice this at first. Level 1, just go up and down the natural notes on the A string. Say the note names out loud. That'll help you remember a lot faster. Look at a graphic if you need to while you're doing this. That can also help you. So do that a few times at the beginning of a practice session, and then move on to whatever your next practice point is. After that, you're going to want to do the leapfrog thing once you're feeling comfortable with that. So you can go A, skip to C, B, skip to D on the 5th fret, C on the 3rd fret, skip all the way up to E, 7th, back to D, 5th fret, F, 8th, E, 7th, G, 10th, back to that F, and then all the way up to an A. And you can work your way back down to A, F, G, E, F, D, E, C, D, B, C, A. And I know this is a lot of work and it's boring work, but once you have at least these two strings down, the E and the A, you're gonna be able to move all types of chords around the fretboard. It's gonna be much easier for you. It's gonna be very liberating. So put in the work now, it'll pay off a lot later. And keep this going with the D, G, and B strings too. That's not covered in Guitar Foundations in the book, but this is something that the more you do this, the better you're gonna get at guitar. That's just the way it is. So let's go and throw in the sharp and flat notes. We'll just do this chromatically, or one fret at a time first. So open A. First fret is a B flat or an A sharp. Second fret is a B. Third fret is a C. Fourth fret is a C sharp. You can call that a D flat as well. And again, just if you didn't watch the video on the low E string note names, anytime you can call a note by more than one name, it's called an enharmonic note. That's just the way music is. And the key that you're in will determine which note name you call that by. We'll get to that later. So fourth fret was a C sharp or a D flat. Fifth fret is a D. Now you can move up. There's a whole step between D and E, so that note in between can be called either a D sharp or an E flat. Seventh fret is an E. Only half a step between E and F, right? So next fret is an F. Now this is an F, and this is a G here, so that note in between can be called an F sharp or G flat. 10th fret is a G. 11th fret is a G sharp or A flat. And then finally A. And you can just work your way back down to A flat or G sharp, G, G flat or F sharp, F, only half a step between E and F, E flat or D sharp, D, D flat or C sharp, C, B, B flat, A sharp, and A. Okay, I should also mention, as you're going through these exercises, a variation you can do on them is to just play your power chords too, and let your index finger, where you're normally doing the single notes, let that be your guide up the fretboard. So if you want to play a B power chord, that B note right there on the second fret of the A will be your anchor point or your root note. If you want to play B flat, lower it down to B flat on there on the first fret. If you want to play E flat, D, C, B flat, A. The final level for this exercise in this video is to just play leapfrog using all sharp and flat notes. And this one is the most challenging, and you will know quickly if you have the note names memorized really well or not, because you'll get stuck and you'll have to sit there and think about it. But sometimes sitting there and thinking about it is the one thing that can help reinforce and help you to learn exactly those note locations. So you have A, B, B flat or A sharp, C, B, C sharp or D flat, C, D, C sharp or D flat, D sharp or E flat, D, E, D sharp or E flat, F, E, F sharp, G flat, F, G, F sharp, G flat, G sharp or A flat, G, and A. And you can see, if you can do that, you're going to know the names of the notes on the A string very well. You can do that up and back down. Make sure to say those note names out loud. I know I'm probably sounding pretty preachy at this point, but I am an evangelist for memorizing the names of the notes on the guitar. Once I memorize them, so many things opened up for me, and it's going to be the same for you, especially as you learn more and more about the guitar, especially on these three strings as you get into those, because that's kind of the black hole blind world for a lot of guitar players. But again, this is not the most fun type of practice, but consistency here is going to be the main key thing. And if you do just 3 to 5 minutes of this a day, you know, it doesn't have to be every day. You can stagger it if you want to, if it's too boring for you, or you can do a week on, a week off, anything like that, just to get the names of the notes memorized. Your life is going to be so much easier, and learning the guitar will be so much faster for you when you get onto new topics in the future. All right, here are your assignments for this lesson. Number 1, review the idea of whole steps and half steps. Number 2, review the B and C and E and F rule. Number 3, memorize the natural notes on the A string and use both exercises, just in order and then leapfrog for that. And then number 4, memorize the sharp and flat notes on the A string. And again, use just going in order and then doing the whole leapfrog thing. Number 5, move your power chord shapes up and down the A string, just kind of randomly with both of these exercises to get used to using your power chords on the A string and then really solidifying those note name locations. If you have any questions about any of this, or if you just have some tips for memorizing the names of the strings on the guitar yourself, you can leave all those things in the comments below or email me, nate@natesavage.com. Now, if you're having really serious trouble with any of these individual areas, you can always go to natesavage.com and schedule a private lesson with me. The first one is complimentary, so there's no risk. Make sure to like and subscribe. That really helps get the word about this course and this channel out, and I'll see you in the next video.